Indian Horse was directed by Stephen Campelli, based off of a novel by Richard Wagme's Indian Horse. It's a powerful and emotional Canadian film that confronts the devastating effects from the residential school system on Indigenous people. Through the lens of one boy's life, it sheds light on the psychological scars left by the cultural impact, abuse, and systematic racism. This film is not just a personal story, it's a mirror held up to Canadians' colonial history and a call for empathy, understanding, and reconciliation. Set in the 1950s and 60s, Indian Horse follows the life of Saul Indian Horse, a young Ojibwe boy who is forcibly taken from his family and placed in a residential school. At the school, Saul experiences harsh conditions, abuse, and the cultural erasure that was common in such schools. His identity, language, and traditions were all brutally suppressed. Saul finds solace and a sense of purpose in hockey introduced by his father at the school. His natural talent allows him to escape the school and join a junior league for a while. It seems as though he might have found a path to healing and success. However, Saul cannot escape the trauma from his past as he faces discrimination in the hockey world and continues to struggle with unresolved pain. He turns to alcoholism. The story ultimately follows his journey towards self-acceptance, healing, and the understanding of his identity. The film portrays Saul's life in three key stages: childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. In each phase, we witness the long-term impacts of his early trauma. Young Saul, portrayed with haunting vulnerability, endures the cruelty of residential schools, forced hair cutting, suppression of his language, and both physical and sexual abuse. The scenes at the school are chilling but not gratuitous, highlighting the symptomatic dehumanization of Indigenous children faced during that time period. As a teenager, Saul discovers hockey, a metaphor for survival and self-expression. His connection to the sport is beautifully filmed. Quiet, graceful sequences contrast the violence of his earlier years. However, even in the hockey arena, he faces racism from his teammates, fans, and institutions. His talent is only appreciated as long as he stays silent about his identity. As adult Saul, he's played by Ajuk Kapachish, wrestles with his trauma through addiction and emotional isolation. His journey to healing begins when he enters treatment center and finally tells his story. This narrative arc where Saul reclaims his voice and identity is the emotional heart of the film. Indian Horse is just not a film about individual, but a reflection of the entire generation affected by Canadians' residential school system. The film effectively uses Saul's personal narrative as a microcosm of a broader historical reality. Through flashbacks and a somber tone, it illustrates the long-term effects of intergenerational trauma. One of the most powerful aspects of the film is its use of silence. Many of Saul's most profound moments on the ice, in nature, or in quiet sections occur with minimum dialogue. This silence underscores the isolation felt by many survivors who were never given a space to speak the truth. The cinematography is stunning, especially in the contrast between the cold, institutional settings and the natural beauty of the Canadian landscape. Nature is shown as a symbol of cultural roots and healing as an escape to artificial violence in the world of colonization. This film also critiques how Canadian society treats Indigenous talent. Saul is used as a token in the hockey world, cheered for his skill, but still rejected for his heritage. This reflects by the hypocrisy of society that embraces the contributions of Indigenous people without respecting their humanity. Indian Horse is a deeply moving, essential film that combines personal storytelling with historical truth. It succeeds in honoring the resilience of Indigenous people while exposing the dark legacy of Canadian treatment of them. The film does not offer easy resolution, but instead focus on the importance of telling the truth and healing.